Yo, Mr. Kaczynski with you. Section S of IXL Algebra 1 skills, dealing with slopes of parallel and perpendicular lines in this video. Okay, well, parallel lines, their slopes are equivalent. That shouldn't be tough for us to identify. The same exact rise, the same exact run. Perpendicular lines, though, maybe that'll be a little bit tougher for us. Their slopes have a product of -1. They're what are known as opposite reciprocals. So it would look something like this, okay? One line's rise would be the other line's run, and the first line's run would be the opposite of the other line's rise. We'll see that a few times, and we'll make sense of it. Here we go. Line D has a slope of 5/7. Line E is parallel to line D. What's the slope of line E? Well, if they're parallel, then they have the same slope. So line E would have a slope of 5/7. It's that simple. Parallel lines have the same slope. Line Q has a slope of 3/8. Line R is perpendicular to Q. What's the slope of line R? Well, perpendicular, they would have opposite reciprocals. So instead of a positive slope, it would have a negative slope. Instead of 3/8, it would be 8/3. Excuse me. So -8/3 would be the slope of line R. Just flip it upside down and make it negative. If it was negative, make it positive. Line G has a slope of -4/5. Line H has a slope of 5/6. Are line G and H parallel or perpendicular or neither? Well, they don't have the same slope, and their slopes aren't opposite reciprocals. So these are neither parallel nor perpendicular. The equation of line C is y equals -7/4x plus 4/5. Line D is parallel to line C. What is the slope? Well, this is the slope of line C, -7/4. And since they're parallel, then line D is going to have the same exact slope, -7/4. Parallel lines have the same slope. Line R passes through the points 4, 12, and 6, 5. Line S is perpendicular to line R. What's the slope of line S? Okay, well, let's first find out the slope of line R. All right, let's do 12 minus 5. That would give us the change in y. Then we'll do 4 minus 6. Okay, so that's the change in x. Change in y over change in x, that's our slope formula, which is going to give us 7 over -2, or -7/2. All right, so that would be, let's call it the slope of line R. All right, now line S is perpendicular to line R. Perpendicular means that its slope would be the opposite, so instead of negative, it's going to be positive. Reciprocal, instead of 7/2, 2/7. So that would be the slope of line S. We take that, flip it upside down. Instead of 7/2, 2/7. Instead of negative, it's positive. That's called an opposite reciprocal. One more, we got line M passing through these 2 points, line N passing through these 2 points. Are M and N parallel or perpendicular, or neither? That's an option too. Well, let's check it out here. Line M, let's do change in y, 10 minus 2, over change in x, 10 minus 1. And that gives us a slope of 8/9. Okay, so to be parallel, line N would have to have a slope of 8/9, or to be perpendicular, we would have to have a slope of -9/8. Let's check that out. Let's do 9 minus 1 for the change in x. Well, that's 8, so maybe they'll be parallel. And then we'll do 10 minus 1. So that does give us 8/9. So they have the same slope, making them parallel. All right, so parallel and perpendicular lines, you're looking for equivalent slopes or opposite reciprocal slopes. Good luck.